Well. Hello, Eric.
King!
Redheads. Welcome to
King.
another episode of What's this podcast? Think Fresh. A podcast about Subway sandwiches.
Stinking fresh.
Yeah,
Stinking
dude.
fresh.
For the breadheads,
You know
they
the
think
deal.
fresh, but for you and I, this is just a stink sesh.
The big stink sesh over here at this podcast that we like to call our own, Ty. I don't know if you can tell, but
I was going to tell you I've been less stinky. I just restocked my Salt and Stone sandalwood deodorant. Feeling good, feeling scented well. Didn't you just cop a new scent as well? Or is this a stink sesh for you?
it's a stink sesh for me, Ty. I even took a bath last night and I shower afterwards.
Oh, so you're like a meatball marinating in your own marinara.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're just reminding me that I wanted to purchase an Aesop scent, Ty, and I'm just, doing a quick little browse on the old Essence app to see if I can find it. Hang
Now,
tight.
why?
Found it.
What? As much as I like supporting Essence, I feel like you should probably order your scent through bluechipaesop.com because you'll get some complimentary samples along with your order. And I don't think Essence is going to come through with that.
Right. I don't like to support Essence, really, because they, cause some unneeded stress last holiday season. But you're right. I do like to get it from Aesop direct, straight from the supplier. Cut out the plug. We don't need the plug. We are the plugs here.
We are the plugs.
Future voice. Exactly. So you good?
I appreciate the samples. Like so I just got some shaving cream from Blue Chip Aesop, and I got like a Sublime Refreshing Night Mask and some Lucent Facial Concentrate with it, some eye serum, and it's kind of fun to explore the inventory beyond my counter. I kind of wish that like Subway offered some free samples of like vegetables that they're like maybe prototyping. Would you like to add a prototype? Like beta test this vegetable?
Yeah, when selecting like something from Aesop, they always give you the choice in the middle of the checkout, like what, needs would you like your samples to be like kind of addressing, And I always go for, something that I wouldn't normally buy, like a nice little mask or something like that. But yeah, Ty, the reason I'm looking on Essence is because I frequented or I visited a Aesop store, in real life, well, IRL activation, and turns out this scent, Ty, was unavailable in all of Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
So
even online.
What you're trying to say is you want to smell like other Canadian Aesop patrons. So you want the sold out scent.
Well, Ty, is it sold out because everybody bought it, or is it just yet another lame COVID excuse of supply chain?
Oh, the supply chain, yes. The most underwhelming excuse ever invented. I'd rather they just tell us that they just like don't blame the supply chain. You are the supply chain. Like you as a company with a fulfillment network are the supply chain. You can't blame this on the system.
That's a great point. But I would love to see like, Big Way incorporating some kind of free sampling system. What are you doing over there, bud? You left the Zoom call and you're clicking away on something. What's happening in the background at Casa del Tai?
At Casa del Tai, I'm not really sure where the Zoom call went, Eric. You were there and then you weren't. I'm feeling a little bit of childhood trauma from the way you just ghosted me, but the clinking you hear is not typing. I don't do iCloud. I don't do email. That, my friend, is the clinking of ice cubes in my oat milk
Jesus
latte,
Christ,
obviously served in a vino glass.
Obviously way too loud for, mid-episode.
Is that too loud? I can't.
It's extremely loud. It's like
Uh,
piercing my skull as I try to tell you about the lettuce that's gonna be sampled in my footlong.
you're right. I'm sorry for distracting from the more important point right now. So tell me
Also,
about your lettuce samples.
how many fucking ice cubes do you need in that stupid little coffee of yours?
uh, is there really such a thing as too many ice cubes?
I think
So
yes.
I mean, like, there's like a transition moment in the tray where you get to three quarters of the way through the ice cream tray, and then it doesn't quite. There's like too many ice cubes for one cup, but not enough ice cubes to keep saving in the freezer. So when I reach that point, I usually opt to go all in on the cube, a full glacial experience.
God damn it.
I
Sincere
hope that
apologies to our anyone who's still listening to this episode.
is it that bad?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're in luck, Eric. I just had my last swig. My fourth wave coffee bean is now on my palate, not in my glass. I'm ready to pod ice cube free from here out.
Please do. And go ahead and ring me once you're back at your computer.
Yeah, I never left.
So then
Ring
where are
me.
you?
Listen, King, I prefer when people come to me.
You hear that, breadheads? That's the sound of Big Ty. Big Stu's calling. Are you picking up or not?
Yeah, yeah. It's like Shark Tank, you know. You go to the sharks. They don't. The sharks aren't coming to your startup office. They're not gonna. They don't want to use your Nespresso and sit in your article couch by a brick wall. You got to go to their studio.
Well, exactly. These snacks are not for you, okay? Unless you're dropping millions on a shitty little like invention, then you can't snack on these sun chips.
That's true. Yeah, that's on reserve for investors only. Like, I feel like every startup should have like a ping pong table for the employees and a ping pong table for the off chance that Mark Cuban walks through the doors.
Hmm. Yeah, and just allow it to catch dust and cobwebs, much like his wife's pussy.
A, I mean, I feel like the role of the angel investor is beyond hu- like servicing normal human needs such as like sexual endeavors. They're busy building the future for you and I, Eric, investing in startups like a Google Chrome tab company or perhaps a company that can keep your mug warm.
Hmm. This mug right here you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
In your case, can we keep it cold?
I already got the perfect invention for that, Eric, and it clinks.
Yeah, it goes back to 3000 BC. It's called a fucking ice cube.
Damn. Yo, but I was learning a little bit about ice cube manufacturing before, like in the days before refrigeration. It's just simply incredible. These ice miners would climb into the mountains, Eric, up into the mountains, and they'd use axes to chisel ice off of big glacial ice blocks. And then they
Hmm.
would pull them down the mountain, and then they would throw them in the ocean and ride them like these like glacial boats down a river or downstream to shore where they could then like chop it up into smaller blocks and bring them to people's houses so that they could like refrigerate their like veal for the night. And they didn't have any supply chain issues. And they're doing all that by hand.
Mm. I know we take so much shit for granted these days, like ice, gas,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Like I was literally just complaining about like, oh man, I don't want to like return this package. Like that sounds like so much work. But
Mm.
literally all I have to do is like stick this like already like paid for and printed label on top of the box that I already have and like walk a block to like drop it off at the Canada Post. And like that was
Mm-hmm.
like too much for work for me. I was like, I don't want to do that.
You're right. You're like, I'd rather have this thing that doesn't fit and lose out on $200 than do that.
Exactly. Like I could even sell this for 0% profit on Facebook Marketplace than to
Hmm.
walk a block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, human mind's funny. It's like I would rather take the same amount of time to make a sandwich at home in a restaurant, but pay a premium to watch someone else do it.
Exactly. If anything, you could do it better than any sandwich artist. Yet you're willing to pay them twice as much as what the sandwich is worth just to
Hmm.
watch their little stinky little hands operate inside of a glove.
What do you think the true worth of a sandwich at Subway is, Eric? I know what I'm paying. I know market value, but what's the true cost?
I mean, the true cost is much higher than whatever you're paying because of the toll it's taking on your body, Ty. Not only are you paying, $13 for your chicken bacon ranch, but you're paying, you know, 45 minutes of your time. You're paying with your immune system.
Hmm.
You're paying with your life.
Hmm.
Um, you're paying with your social credibility too. There's a lot that
Hmm.
goes into you visiting a Subway that you might not even think about.
You're right. Well, okay, let's take sweat equity off the table here, and let's just focus on hard fiscal costs. Let's say chicken bacon ranch is 13.99. I'm not really sure how much it costs. I've never really looked at the Subway menu prices. I think that's a pretty fair guess. Is that too high? Too low?
I mean, with this inflation in 2022, Ty, I think you're on the right track. I might even invest. Can I invest in a chicken bacon ranch? Like, can I buy 12 shares of that sandwich
Hmm.
and just like watch my money grow?
There should be a more like intercompany betting, like I want to bet on the success of this product at this company. Like of the nine ASOP cents, which one would you both literally put your money on by purchasing, but also invest in seeing that like sector grow?
Hmm. And thanks to our partners at Stake and Go Sound, we are giving everyone a promo code so that they could bet on which horse is going to win at the Kentucky Derby. You're going to be betting on the Jack Harlow horse, Ty, or the Drewski horse.
Hmm, both are good options. Um, I gotta go team OVO here. I think Jack Harlow's been simping for Drake too much. He's just like in real life, Jack's horse is just gonna follow Drake's.
That's true, but I mean, you're literally sitting next to your hero. Like, Ty, imagine if a Subway sandwich was like sitting next to a was sitting next to a crooked Q word sub.
Wow. Which
Wow,
wait,
it's
which
like
one's Jack Harlow in this case?
I think Jack Harlow is Subway. It's like the
Yeah.
white man's version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's the smiley version.
It's the smiley, like you know, the one who's like coming up in the game still.
Hmm. Hmm.
Old
Subway's
head,
got no ceiling on Subway.
exactly. Anyways,
I get
Ty.
that.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
I was gonna say though, like, um, I would like to. Subway is not a publicly held company. I do dabble in shareholding of held companies, and I always get
As you
these
should.
absolutely wretched shareholder voting slips in the mail, and they're usually
Really?
like a 40-page like encyclopedia of just fucking legal nomenclature about the company. I don't get any of it. I don't vote on anything because it's always uninteresting. It's like, would you like to continue to elect these white people to the board of directors? And I don't care, but Subway should have those voting slips for their patrons to continuously provide feedback on the vegetable selection and the
Hmm.
sauce selection at the way.
I think that's an awesome idea, but Ty, you've fully distracted me now because do you mind just sharing with me what companies you're investing these millions of dollars in? Because I don't get any fucking voter shit in my mail. So now I'm wondering, like, wait, are you like high rolling on the Wealth Simple app?
Yeah, you got to have a min spend for sure. But I wish it was that, Eric. I think you just have to check a box in the settings of the Wealthsimple app. But I dabble in the Fang. I'm basically a Silicon Valley investor.
So you're telling me for $20 you can like yeah, you can basically shift the future of a company? You can
More or
play a part.
less.
You can literally fire somebody just because you pay $20 to own like a NFT basically.
More or less, yeah. You can literally tell Mark Zuckerberg to step down.
Wow. That
Say it
would
with your shareholder votes. Don't complain on
wow.
Twitter.
Yeah. Attack the polls, guys. Breadheads.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But yeah, I would love to vote on what's, on the menu du jour at Subway. I think, we the people need to like not only like make sure that the classics are here to stay and that, Big Way doesn't fuck with our favorites. But
Mm-hmm.
we also should have a slot reserved for maybe new ideas, like maybe weekly or monthly. There's like a free play kind of slot at the Subway menu, and then we all vote on like what Subway sandwich goes in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the free play, the middle of the bingo sheet.
Exactly.
I
Bingo.
wouldn't mind that. I think there could be so many more opportunities for community engagement with Subway. I don't know, man.
Do you sound like do you sound like a fucking HR representative at like Amazon or something? Like, yes, I agree that our voices matter. Like, and that's just the end of your statement.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
doesn't do anything
Like
about it.
no follow-up email.
Yeah, it's like wow, I thought you would have more to say about that, but I guess you were just checking a box at the end of the day.
Respond to Eric. Uh,
Responded. Oh
uh,
fuck.
as the HR representative of Think Fresh podcast, I just want to remind you, Eric, I do not work for you. I work for Think Fresh, and my goal here is to protect Think Fresh.
That's right. We are equals on this pod, and we don't report to each other. We report to the a document,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
And you know what? Sandwich artists are actually a lot like HR, Eric. And I'm going to get into a few reasons why. But the most important one is the sandwich artist isn't there to help you make a sandwich. They're there to help Subway manage the liability that you create by just walking into that building. You trying to make a sandwich is a liability to them. Too many ingredients, food poisoning, bad sandwich. They need the
Hmm.
artist as the intermediary to protect Subway, not to support you. And I think that fundamental shift in thinking helps me better understand why my sandwich artist always fails to create a beautiful piece of art with me.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Ty, I fully agree with what you're saying.
Wow, just checking a box, eh?
You're so right, Ty. They're also HR because they don't say no to you. They just take in what you're saying and then they
Mm-hmm.
just do what they want. Like you say, "I'll take some black olives, please," and then they put like three on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they keep it moving. It's like that's not adding black olives. That's like almost removing black olives.
Mm-hmm.
But you're putting three on there. You're shorting me like 80% of what I asked for.
Do you think there's like there's probably a minimum satisfactory amount of any ingredient that the sandwich artist has to place on the footlong to check that box because they just need to
Hmm.
check the box of ingredient applied. If they put too few, then the patron is going to come back at them, make them undo. But if they put too many, then they're hitting the bottom line a big way. So, what do you think that
Exactly.
minimum is? Do you think it's variable depending on ingredient, or is there like a guiding principle here for application of vegetables?
Mm. My gut is telling me that it's at the discretion of the sandwich artist and
Mm-hmm.
it's at a case by case basis.
Mm.
Like they look at the sandwich uh eater and they think, can this guy beat me up? And if the answer is yes, then they play it safe and they add a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but if it's like, a teenager, like a small teenager, it's like, you know what, kid, like I don't want to get fired for making your stupid sandwich, so I'm just gonna give
Mm-hmm.
you like the bare minimum. And maybe that's just like 2 slices of tomato.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I'd also say that it's important to not just read the physicality of the patron, but also their like how mentally engaged they are in the sandwich creating process. If you got someone
Look
who's
over
like,
there.
yeah, if they're locked in to that foot long, their eyes are on the inches, you better overserve them a little bit. But if they're like
hmm
on their phone, they're swiping through like the depth versus herd conundrum, or I don't know, learning about all the futures baby mamas, then
Exactly.
this is your chance to skimp a little bit. Just keep it moving.
Exactly. Um, if the person is like giving you one vegetable at a time and waiting for you to put the vegetable on before they say
Hmm.
the next thing, you can't fuck with them. Like that's somebody who's about their bag and they're not going
Hmm.
to let you, give them less of a sandwich than what they're deserving.
Hmm. Definitely, you could definitely pick up on that. It's a defensive ordering strategy.
And you can tell every time like one of us does that, Ty, the sandwich artist starts to quiver. Like whenever you like whenever you say like I'll take cucumbers and then they go, yeah. Like they always like want you to list off like four things to distract you from what they're actually doing to your sandwich. And
Hmm.
who knows? They might be like using their bare hands on your sub. You don't even know because you're too busy picking like the banana peppers or the jalapenos.
Yeah, for sure. Like my favorite type of artist, the illusionists, they're doing a little magician act there, some sleight of hand, distracting you with
hmm
thinking while they get to business down on the bread. I
Absolutely.
would think though that like the sandwich artist is also, I would hope, considering remaining capacity, like on the foot long itself. Like if it's not unlike at 16 gigabyte iPhone 5 foot long, and you're full, man. You can't get anything else in there. You're at capacity. Then they're probably thinking about how they can still satisfy the client requests without overloading that foot long. That's probably a really, I empathize with the sandwich artist at that moment, because
hmm
that is a breakdown of uh I guess sandwich patron communication, because the sandwich artist should predict it that the patron is going to load this thing up and paste accordingly.
Yeah, Ty, I fail to empathize with any sandwich artist for this reason, Ty. Like, obviously I'm gonna load this thing up.
They
Of
should
course
just
I'm gonna
assume
load
that
it
from the
up, Ty.
beginning.
Yeah. Like it's free. Like I'm gonna load it up.
Yeah. So how does the sandwich artist both skimp? They don't want to skimp, but they want to play the long game here. And you are only
Mm.
delivering one vegetable at the time. That's a that's a really funny one. There's a lot of tension in that relationship.
Mhm. Well, Ty, why don't they leverage the same system that they use, at the first half of the ordering like cycle, at the second half? Like basically, as soon as you cross from one sneeze guard to the other,
Hmm.
it all the system like just goes to shit. Like the cheese slices, it fits 3 perfect slices per 6 inches, right?
Hmm.
One veggie patty fits perfectly on one piece of 6 inch bread. The I don't know, salami, same thing. Why doesn't the vegetable system do the same thing?
Yeah, if they're genetically engineering the vegetables anyways, they could just make like a 3-inch black olive. Just make a really big, one single big black olive. Get like a 12-inch long strand of lettuce. They're in charge. They're making that.
Wow.
They could do that.
Wow.
Wow, can
Dude,
you
this is
imagine
why we
what a
need,
Frankenstein sandwich?
yeah, we need Elon Musk to, not buy Twitter. We need him to buy Subway and to reinvent the ordering process.
Hmm.
Subway could learn a lot from Tesla's like manufacturing system. We don't need fucking humans. We need robots.
We need more robots here. You can take the
Exactly.
artist out of the art and replace it with a robot if the robot has opposable thumbs.
Exactly.
Damn. I really want to explore this guy a little more here. So you have, would you do a 6-inch long leaf of romaine, or would you do 6 1-inch thick cut like shreds?
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, maybe they have some kind of scooping device, Ty, and it's like 6 inch or 12 inch sized, and you just like scoop the lettuce and then you dump it on. So it's like a
Mm,
measuring cup.
like the one they use for the tuna, like the tuna ice cream scoop.
Exactly. The tuna ice cream scoop. And then they can use
Yo,
the
that
back of it to like sludge it around.
dude, that's such like a that really takes the like palatability out of the tuna. It's that weird device. It feels
Hmm.
like it's used to like realign someone's elbow joint, not to like serve food. Looks like a medical device.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an ice cream shop with one flavor, buddy.
The flavor is tuna fish.
Hmm. Speaking
Woof.
of tuna fish, I had a nice little lunch for my parents on Sunday, and I need to tell you about it. It was a first time experience for me. Um,
Mmm.
we posted a meme about it a long time ago. It was a nice young man eating at a seafood boil all by himself.
Mmm.
So we went to a seafood boil together, and Ty, this shit was crazy. I can understand why people like throw chairs at these things.
Right, right. Wow. So, I did you feel okay? First of all, what's the scene report of a sushi boil, seafood boil like? I'm assuming there's sushi there too.
You would be right to assume that a lot of Asians go there, Ty, but I think it's actually a Southern thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's like Louisiana style, but that's unconfirmed. This is like the same thing as my Nando's take. I don't know actually where it's from. I'm picking up on the vibes.
okay. So what's
Um,
it like in there? What's the scene like?
any other restaurant, a bunch of tables, you know, secret kitchen. You can't look inside.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see what they're doing in the kitchen. Just food comes out of there magically after you order.
Mm-hmm.
But Ty, this restaurant opens up at noon, okay? And we pulled up at 11:50, and there was a lineup of people,
No.
for Mother's Day standing outside of the place, and we just like all were looking at each other like there's no organization here. They don't know who's first.
Yeah, I think Eric's AirPods just died. Is that true, Eric? I just saw you stick your finger in your ear. Oh, we lost audio on you. Oh, I was so curious what the seafood boil is all about. This guy. He always blames me for technical issues. Nothing. Fuck. I can see Eric mouthing the F word live on air as he sorts it out. No, nothing, Eric. Sorry. You've been canceled. Okay, breadheads, don't you worry. We're gonna get him back on the air, and we're gonna close out this sushi boil scene report in 3 minutes. Let's go. Do you need to borrow a charger, buddy?
Dude, I need to borrow some wired headphones because my AirPods just died, but I appreciate you handling that like a pro, Ty. I felt helpless, much like a patron at Subway, just watching my sandwich get abused from behind the glass, and I couldn't do anything
Hmm.
about it.
I did take the opportunity to abuse you a little bit when you didn't have the moment to defend yourself, but this is interesting hearing your audio sans AirPod Pros. It's a little bit raspier, but clearer at the same time. I think Apple might be scamming us a bit.
Apple is scamming us, and we're really just paying for the ability to, be able to use our hands. With
That's
um,
true.
okay, Ty, what was the last thing that you heard me say?
You said you rolled up to Seafood Boil at 11:50. Big lineup. Everybody skipped brunch at the Botanist today. They wanted to take their mama for some crab cakes instead.
Exactly. Huge line. Everyone looked like they were about to fight. Like there
Hmm.
was like already some tension in the air because, you know, when you like everyone gets seated at the same time, it's gonna take you forever to get your order in, right? So everyone's
Hmm.
like already kind of like rolling up their sleeves, like getting ready to throw a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile I was like doing some lunges, like stretching my legs just in case I had to like kick someone in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully none of that happened, but we did get our order in. And Ty, there were 9 of us, so we had to order 3 pounds of shrimp,
Wow.
a pound of lobster. I think we got like 2 orders of zucchini sticks, some calamari, some Cajun fries, a plate of sausages, and some bacon wrapped scallops.
Wow, that's quite the order. So why you got so many mouths to feed here, Eric? You got your mom, 9 people. That's your mama and 8 baby mamas. What's going on here? You got some explaining to do.
I took all my baby mamas out for Mother's Day feast. No, it was the in-laws activation, Ty. So
Mm-hmm.
we had all the generations of my partner's family all rolling up at the same time, including their plus ones. So
Mm.
it was good. It was a good old time, good old family time. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Plus ones really get the numbers up. So I get that. Sounds
yeah,
bussin', my G. So what
yeah.
was your favorite part about the seafood boil meal?
Well, as appetizing as that sounds, Ty, my the favorite part was actually the apparel. It is all the merch that came with the food. So when we sat down, they immediately handed everyone some plastic gloves and some plastic bibs.
Wow.
Yeah, so we all put on some bibs, some gloves, and we're all just sitting there patiently waiting for our bags of seafood to pull up. Uh, and yes, they did come in bags, Ty.
What do you mean they came in bags? Like a plastic, like were you getting like a goldfish in a plastic bag to eat?
It was literally like that same vibe, but instead of water that the fish could swim in, it was like Cajun sauce.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
So
this sounds like a
they
nightmare for
dress you
me.
up like a sandwich artist, and then they bring you a literal bag of sauce.
Yep. Dude, they dress you up like an employee, and then they say, get the shelling. You know what I'm saying? Because all the on them, so you gotta, keep those gloves
Right.
on, and yeah.
You're cracking, you're shucking, it's a really a DIY experience. This is the kind of grassroots dining experience that we've longed for at the way, but you're getting it bib and all at a seafood boil.
Exactly. Um, these shrimp were just like sitting in a bag full of sauce, and then you just like reach in, you know, with your gloves, grab a
Hmm.
shrimp, grab it in one of them shrimps, and then just get to eating, bro. It's like there's no like plates, there's no cutlery, there's nothing. It's just like literally seafood like on the table.
Wow.
Obviously there's a paper tablecloth, of course, for sanitary purposes.
Hmm. Hmm.
But beyond that, dude, it's a free for all. Very family style.
Wow. That's incredible. So you got your Dr. Fauci approved gloves and tablecloth,
Yep.
and you
Got my
literally just
PPE.
sticking your hand into some Chipotle Southwest goop,
Yep.
grab whatever feels solid, extract it from the bag, crack it open and eat it. That's
Yep.
the dining experience. That's so barbaric.
It's absolutely barbaric, but I felt like so much closer to my in-laws, Ty. I felt like I was really being welcomed into the family. Uh, and I felt like, yeah, it was like, it's like, can he handle this kind of? I was like, yeah, I'm up to the challenge.
Yeah, well, it's pretty obscene. Like you're gonna get closer with anyone when you're literally elbows deep in some crab bisque.
Absolutely. And, we didn't have any cutlery. The only like utensils we had, quote unquote, were some nutcrackers and scissors. So that was used to cut open the lobster.
Damn, this is so foreign. I feel like you're eating on like the International Space Station or something. The way you're describing this, there's like some like weird sanitized equipment. You got to wear gloves, put your face shield on.
Dude, yeah. I had my Fauci approved PPE on, and
Hmm.
I was just going to town on some lobster.
Hmm.
And at that
So
point, it's like really funny because like even the food that like doesn't normally require gloves, you just eat it with your hands anyway because you're eating everything else with your hands. So
Hmm.
like grabbing a sausage with my like fist, I'm just like, yeah, it's like eating a
Yeah.
sausage. Like this is fucking awesome.
Wow. Very
Mhm.
unorthodox, Eric.
Yeah,
I imagine you didn't wear your long sleeve off-white tee that day then.
I was wearing my John Elliott hoodie, which was
Mm.
black by design.
Hmm.
I want to make sure that no, spraying could occur, no visible spraying at least.
Hmm.
Um, so that worked out quite well. That was a good design decision by me. But big, it was like I got the
More of a
XL size
poncho.
for Big Daddy Eric. I got the XL bib,
Hmm.
and yeah, everything kind of worked out.
Damn. Got the poncho on. Is there any takeaways from this experience, Eric, for our sad traditional business model of Subway?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like any sandwich at Subway could apply the same level of personal protection equipment. You
Hmm.
know, if I could, instead of a napkin, or even like instead of the bag, give me just like two pairs of like plastic gloves, and I can just like
Hmm.
put it down on the sandwich, like guilt free, worry free. I can just like start eating my sandwich and then take the gloves off, and I'm like, I'm clean, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No evidence.
Yeah, I mean,
No finger send.
I will share though that the gloves have to be strong because one of the lobster claws poked a hole in my glove. So
Ooh,
one hand had a bunch of grease on it, and the other one didn't.
damn. That's the danger. If you break a rubber like that, you're gonna make a mess.
Yeah, dude, you can't break a rubber. Like you got to make sure your protection's like solid.
Would
Uh,
you ever uh double glove it?
Double gloving is smart. I will do that next time. Um, I'm not sure if this restaurant offers. I know they do dine in, but I don't know if they offer any pull out.
uh, I think that the sandwich artists could benefit from double gloving in the meatball section. Like, and honestly, like the ice cream scoop they use for the meatballs and tuna, we can do away with those like weird medical equipment if they just double glove. Then they could go in fist first.
Oh yeah,
Can
I
you
would love to
imagine them
see.
spreading the tuna on your sandwich with their hand?
Dude, I would get bricked up standing there waiting for them to finish making my sandwich, bro.
For sure. Yeah, at least a semi.
hmm But one other thing I learned, Ty, was that when you remove the formalities of like normal like table manners, you start to really connect as people with one another. It removes like this weird like classist bullshit that we've all just accepted.
Hmm.
It's like the only reason why table manners exist is so that we can separate ourselves from the less fortunate, right? But once
Hmm.
everyone's eating with hands and just having a good time and making a mess, poo shiesty voice, it's all good, bro. We're all out here together. It's a family thing.
Hmm. For sure. I've never felt more inadequate than when I go to a restaurant and they give me two different forks of different sizes.
Yeah, and then they expect you to know what to do with them, and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Like, you just eat the whole meal with one of them.
Yeah. That's what I usually do. And then they poo poo on me. They say I know that's their way of thinking like, oh, this guy doesn't tip very big.
hmm I already know, Ty. You eat the whole meal with a dessert fork because it's more appropriately sized for you, right?
It's not because my hands and mouth and just like general features are small, Eric. It's because smaller bites stretch out the meal so that I can enjoy it longer. Duh.
Absolutely, you're right about that.
Soak in every bite of tofu.
Yeah, buddy. This
Wow.
speaking
Well,
of
that's
tofu, this sounds like your literal nightmare. It's like all meat and seafood.
yeah, I just shat myself when you said that. It's terrifying.
Yeah, you would just be eating the zucchini sticks, which were bomb, by the way. You should, if you
I
have an
bet.
air fryer, I don't think you do. I don't think you're the type, but if you did have an air fryer, you should put some in there.
No, I got a hard take that no one owns an air fryer if they don't already own a townhouse. That's like it comes with the townhouse.
Mm. For me, it's like a microwave prerequisite. Like, you don't have an air fryer if you don't have a microwave.
No, and I'm sans microwave. I know
The-
you might have one. No, do you have a microwave, Eric? Do you dabble with
Fuck
the
no.
waves?
Fuck
Oh,
no. Do you
no.
see do you see a big silver box in this beautifully designed minimal kitchen that I have in my Zoom background right now?
No, I see nary a convenience in your kitchen.
Dude, I'm anti-convenience.
hmm
No, only when it comes to Subway will I accept convenience.
hmm
44,000 locations and counting.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Subway. The reason this podcast exists.
Dude, the reason why we
Speak
have multiple revenue sources is because of, big what's his name?
big Pete.
Pete.
Pete. Yeah, that's right. We're both financially and neurologically divergent here at Think Fresh Podcast.
Absolutely.
Now, with that in mind, King, I think I need to sign off from this little episode we made today. But I really enjoyed chatting with you, especially hearing your more raw, deep cut voice without the Apple filter, whatever their audio filter. They're leveling it out for sure. Some more of that, please. Next episode.
You're welcome. Breadhead, stay tuned to next episode to watch, Ty and I clear our throats.
All right, King. Think fresh.
All right.
Breadheads, think fresh.
All right, guys. You be good out there now.
Be good. Ciao.